are talking The Devil in the Room. This one is written and directed by Sammy Cunningham and Brendan Rudnicki, and this one stars Skye Coyne as Amanda. Now, Amanda is our kind of central character, and at the beginning of the movie we see her sister commit suicide, although she may well have been under the influence of some sort of demonic entity. And we see then Amanda coming in to sort of clear her sister's belongings and such, and there is some type of kind of artifact that she kind of takes with her. Now, this is some type of conduit to this kind of demon which attacks her in a kind of the form of a sleep paralysis demon. Now, we've seen these kind of sleep paralysis movies actually be a popular subject for horror movies in the last few years. I think I've seen about 10 or so of these movies now where it's kind of that is the backdrop of this horror film, and here's yet another one. This one is a very, very low budget movie. It's a very short film, just over an hour, I believe, so, you know, it's not so much of a commitment, but it is extremely low budget. So let's first of all, I think, talk about the positives in this movie. For a clearly such a low budget movie, I was impressed with some of the technical aspects here. I think the movie is actually very well shot. It seems like the filmmakers here understand shot composition, camera placement. There's a good. I think the lighting here is very good. It will give you the kind of the opinion that maybe it's a higher budget film than it actually is. Towards the end of the film, we kind of go into the sleep dimension. The movie does have this kind of villain which kind of will remind you of Freddy Krueger, I'm not going to lie. He even kind of looks a little bit like Freddy Krueger. The makeup effect isn't bad, but I've got to say it looks like a mask, to be honest, but the mask isn't bad. There is one kind of gore shot which I thought was not too bad either. And I think the acting of the boyfriend, this Amanda's boyfriend, was pretty good. And I thought his character was quite good as well, because a lot of these movies, you'll get kind of like the boyfriend who's a bit of an asshole and there's things like this, not supportive, whilst this guy is just a totally chill guy and totally supportive of his girlfriend and wants to help. And I thought that makes a kind of a nice change. I have to say, though, I think the rest of the acting is quite poor. Unfortunately, the lead character of Amanda, played by an actress called Skye Coyne, is a little on the poor side. Now, to evidence this, what I would say is the beginning of the movie, when we first kind of see Amanda learn about her sister's death, I mean, that obviously is the most heart-wrenching thing in the movie, obviously, in regards to emotional impact. But I was surprised how little emotional resonance I was kind of getting from this actress. I really didn't feel like there was much kind of much acting there to me. I really didn't feel like she was kind of really all that impacted by her sister's death. And the script, has it that she's having these kind of nightmares, and that's what it's playing. But that's the script. It's not the acting. So I thought the acting was quite poor. There's a couple of other peripheral characters, again, that just seem to be a little bit on the kind of the overacting side. For example, we have this kind of paranormal expert, I guess you would say. He looks like he's about 15, but the what he goes through, you'd think the guy would be in his 50s. It's a really odd casting, but it's super overactive. I see one other thing that I did like, and this is one story element that I think I thought was good, but we'll come on to the rest of the story elements that I didn't think was good in a minute. But there's going back to one positive. We have a situation about midway through the film where she is seeing this psychiatrist and she's seeing this guy who totally believes in kind of demons and things like this. And I think the movie at a point does a good job of kind of saying these are both potential options here. Now, it being a horror film, you can probably guess what the real thing is there, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I think there is a moment in the movie where you think, hey, it could legitimately be one or the other. And we don't really know at that point what is going to be the truth, because they both, have arguments kind of for and against. And I even like the fact that the psychiatrist actually knows of this kind of, demonology expert and things like that, and kind of discredits him and say, look, he's basically a crackpot. So there is a point there I did think was quite good. However, the rest of the story is very, very predictable. And like I said, some things kind of don't really make sense in regards to physics and things like this. We are led to believe this demon is like attacks during sleep, but there's one point where we'll literally see the demon give our protagonist a pill, put a pill in her mouth, things like this. So again, it doesn't quite kind of fit to its own rules. The way the story goes is very, very predictable. Things are kind of set up like, I don't want to go into too much detail, but someone will say something along the lines of, oh, I forgot something that's in my car. I think, okay, well, something's going to happen, obviously, whilst you're in your car. And it's just like, yeah, it's just very obvious. It's not at all kind of subtle in regards to its kind of like this, its writing and things like this. I think the ending as well is a little unsatisfying. You feel like there still should be 15 minutes of movie left at the end of this, which is odd because it's a short film anyway, so it looks like the ending's just gone chop, and that's it. And the movie just has a kind of a lower budget feel. The one technical aspect where I felt this movie did lack on was with its audio, because sometimes you feel like some of the speech isn't particularly well picked up. I think the camera work is good, but sometimes the audio isn't good, and sometimes the colour grading as well. It looks a bit wonky, I have to say. It's not a particularly exciting film. It's very kind of predictable. Not badly made, with some, not bad makeup. Not a bad idea, but just very, very generic. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to you next time.